Today we have a Range Road RR 5026 sawmill with a new addition to it. We have Harbor Freight saw, we have a Harbor Freight lift jack table, and I-beam trolleys that are cut and modified so that it rolls on this track. What we did was wired up a foot pedal switch to turn the saw on, so when I press this switch, saw stays on and shuts off till we're done doing what we're doing. So now we have a turntable here. This is where the logs will be screwed down to, so go ahead and turn that. So right now it's locked in place. There's a latch. Show it. Yeah, let me get on this side here. So that way we could turn the log 90 degrees. It has 4 holes, so we can go 360 degrees with it. And then we also have the regular sawmill. So we should be able to cut logs up to 22 inches long and about 22 inches in diameter. So we'll get one set up here and we'll bring you back in a minute. Alright, so with this table here, we lift this lever and we can raise the height of the saw. We kind of want to get it, this is the first cuts with it, so I don't want to bury the saw blade all the way. But then I have this handle here, and I'll be able to lift the handle, move it over one slot and drop it down, so I can go 3/4 of an inch apart with each cut. Once I get through the series of cuts, I'll show you what we're going to do next. Alright, here we go. Okay, so we have the saw set up at the top of the log, and the first cut was crooked because that was cut with a chainsaw, but we set up the height of the blade to the top of the log so we don't waste it. And we have our gauge here set up right on a 1-inch mark. So we're going to drop it 3/4 of an inch. And then this is the first time we're firing up this saw, so you might have to bear with it because I don't know if it's going to start right away.
Two things you're going to notice as the saw starts cutting through the wood. Number one is the log has a little bit of a wobble to it. The turntable is wobbling. And the second thing is that the cubes of wood are able to fly into the wheels of the sawmill and potentially jam it up. There is one instance where it actually stops the saw. You'll see that coming up, and I'll open it up and show you what's inside and how it jammed and stuff like that. But these things are going to be worked on later. We do some temporary fixes in this video just to get through without it wobbling like that, so we get some better results. But you can check it out. So before this cut, we cut a piece of 2x4 and wedged it underneath the left side of the turntable to keep the log from wobbling. But pretty soon here you're going to see where a chip of wood gets stuck on the saw blade, makes its way around a couple times. I clear that chip of wood, and then you're going to see a cube actually go inside of the sawmill and stop it dead. And then I'll show you around the other side, like how it jammed on the inside. Okay, in the spirit of showing the good, the bad, and the ugly, we definitely need like a deflector here to knock the blocks off to one side, because what happened is it went up inside and around and wedged against the top and stopped the blade. There's some chunks that didn't get stuck but made it pass. So we're going to show everything. We're going to improve this thing. Also, another thing we did, we had to wedge a little bit of a block under here because the first cut had a little bit of a wobble to it. So the turntable definitely needs a little more stability than it had on the first cut. So before this pass, we clamped on a piece of 2x4 as a deflector so the blocks don't fly inside the sawmill anymore, and that seemed to work pretty good. This is the saw blade we used during this test, and you'll notice it's a 60-tooth blade. It's meant more for fine cuts. I'm going to be going with a 32-tooth blade. There's an image coming up of one from Harbor Freight, but I do have a DeWalt one that I'll probably use first. Along with the blade change, because that was one of the things that was a problem, was the speed was bogging down. I'll also go with a clamping system for the turntable to make that stiff, and I'll make a deflector so the cubes can't get lodged inside the bandsaw blade. Thanks for watching.